Alright, it's just a little documentary, whatever. It's a note, video note for me. Um, okay, so I was reading 2 Kings chapter 23, uh, verse 3. And it says, the king took his place of authority besides the pillar and renewed the covenant. This dude renewed the covenant. I'm sorry, I'm getting too ahead of myself. Renewed the covenant in the Lord's presence. He pledged to obey the Lord's to obey the Lord by keeping all his commands, laws, and decrees. Dang, can't talk. With all his heart and soul. In this way, he confirmed all the terms of the covenant that were written in the scroll, and all the people pledged themselves to the covenant. Now, this is the New Living Translation I'm reading from. One thing about it is I see that he had renewed the covenant. When you look in the chapters before, you will see that Israel went just going bananas. They were not keeping the law as far as everything. It was so bad that they didn't even know where the scroll was at. They had just found it, and that's why Josiah, there was another priest who found it, and once he read it, he ripped his clothes like, oh my God, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was messing up. Anyway, Josiah, he's a real man of God. He tore down all the idols. You just see, he was just, what's that over there? Tear it down, tear it down. He just was demolishing everything. That was just cold blooded, and it really speaks about, even in my life, that any idols or anything that's in my life that's not moving or is not magnifying God or taking my attention off of Him while I'm supposed to be in the place of worship. Anything that draws me away from the place of worship, anything that draws me away from the secret place, it got to be destroyed in my life. So I was like, okay, cool. So that was something right there. But what I really wanted to focus on is how he renewed the covenant. Okay, so he renewed the contract. And the way how he renewed the contract, looking at the verse, is that he was in the present. He came to the Lord, because it says he renewed the covenant in the Lord's presence. So he went to the Lord, he renewed the covenant, and the way he was able to renew the covenant is by first knowing what the covenant was. And then he pledged to obey the Lord by keeping all his commands and his decrees, basically the covenant, the contract agreement that is supposed to be on his end. So he had to know what God required, know the contract that he could fulfill the part. Josiah could decree, you know what I'm saying, to pledge to keep up the his part of the contract of the covenant. And one thing the main thing I want to look at is how he pledged. He spoke. He renewed the covenant by praying, by talking back to God and letting him know, God, I pledge to obey you, to keep all your commands, your laws, your decrees with all my heart and soul. Now, heart and soul is two things is real heavy. Heart is life. You don't have a heart, you don't have a life. Soul is the mind, is the psyche, is the desire. So even he's saying with all my desire, with all my mind, he's going to keep it. And one thing about it is, it says, in this way he confirmed all the terms of the covenant, letting you know he had to confirm them, letting them know like this guy, this, and confirm like, yes, I say yes to this, I say yes to that. He was confirming what was written in the scroll, and all the people pledged themselves to the covenant too. So it's crazy how one person can renew their covenant with the king, and then other people start to follow. That almost sounds like revival. It almost shows you that revival can start with one person. Once one person has been revived, he now has life, and he's able to bring people into the relationship that he's now in. So just this is very key. That, and going back to really what it was, speaking, prayer. So prayer is key in renewing our vows and talking to God. So right now, I just want to know the promises of God, the contracts, the promises of God. My end of the bargaining, which I already see, is just to give him myself, my mind, body, soul, love him with all my strength, everything. Which is awesome, is because he gave me a love to love him, because he gave me Christ. So now that I have Christ, I'm able to love him the way he loves me, because God is love and Christ is the Word and the Word is God. So I just give him the glory, because if I don't have the Word, I can't have love. So I thank him for Christ Jesus. So with that being said, let us dig to know the promises of God, and know and declare them and speak them, and to talk to him in a relationship. Renew your vow with the King. Renew your vow with the King. That's all. So remember that, Marty.